Wow, look at him! What did you do to him, Mr. Monk?
Oh goodness, just look at the time! Welcome everyone to the very special last part of my comparison of Shin Getter Robo and its original manga counterpart. While in the first two parts we talked about the slight and not so slight differences of Ryoma and Hato, now it's time to go deeper. And you know what they say, if there's a hole, it's a man's job to trust into it. So that's exactly what we're doing today, so sit back, relax, and make sure not to overdose on Getter rays because things are about to get heated. This is the story of Getter Robo's unsung hero, Tomoe Musashi. However, to better understand who he is, we have to look at how he came to be. Back in the 70s, Toei Animation adapted one of Go Nagai's revolutionary manga, Mazinger Z, into a TV anime. I'm calling it revolutionary because it pioneered the concept of a human-piloted giant robot, something we still see in mecha anime today. As you would expect, the anime proved itself to be a great success, so Toei desperately tried to emulate that success with other mecha anime over the years. So in 1974, they decided to try their hand at adapting Getter Robo. Unfortunately, Ken Ishikawa's darker tone from the manga didn't sit well with the Toei executives since they were aiming for an audience of young kids. A lot of things were cut in the process of making the anime, however, one new thing was added. That thing is the character we would come to know as Tomoe Musashi. In Ken Ishikawa's original vision for the manga, the three Getter pilots would have been Ryoma, Hato, and Professor Saotome himself. That's even how the manga sets it up in the first 5 chapters. Now you may be asking, why would Toei even bother to change that? The answer is simple. If we yet again take a look at Mazinger Z. The story had a comic relief character, simply known as Boss, and Toei loved to use him for gags whenever the action got too intense. They kind of had the same mentality here. In order for Ryoma and Hato's serious personalities not to get too overwhelming for the viewer, they created a fat, clumsy comic relief character. Little did they know how impactful this change would be for Getter Robo's history. Jumping forward a bit, Musashi already became a fan favorite. So much so that Ken Ishikawa felt pressure to include him into the manga canon. And so he did. Again, you may be asking, how did an anime original character become popular to such a degree? To that I can answer with simply one word: relatability. While some people like to imagine themselves as Ryoma, the hot-blooded action hero, or Hato, the cold calculated genius, at the end of the day, most people are just like Musashi, clumsy, talentless, but always trying their best to push through obstacles. Even then, Musashi isn't just a surrogate for the audience. His perseverance and determination make him someone people could look up to, despite his appearance. It wouldn't be far-fetched to say the same philosophy was applied during the creation of Gurren Lagann's Kamina. In that sense, we could call Musashi a proto-Kamina of sorts. But these two characters have something even more important in common. They are both destined to serve as martyrs in order for others to carve a brighter future with their sacrifices. Musashi's sacrifice not only solidified him as a fantastic character, but also literally pierced through the genre's mold in the same way he pierced through those dinosaurs. A mecha pilot dying was something completely unheard of at the time, and in that moment the audiences were sure that no one was truly safe, despite piloting a giant robot. Musashi's legacy would live on in Getter Robo Arc, the last chapter of the original saga, where we find out that he transcended space and time and is now aiding Takuma and the others in the endless Holy War. We shall never know if Ken Ishikawa had more plans for Musashi because that story was sadly left unfinished. Musashi's demise had also left both Toei and Ken Ishikawa puzzled with what to do next. He was at his peak in popularity, but they couldn't just bring him back from the dead. Enter Benkei Kuruma, a new Getter recruit who's meant to be Musashi's replacement. They were aware that he had large shoes to fill, so does Benkei live up to Musashi's legacy? Well, no. Benkei is basically Musashi but stripped of his perseverance and determination. What you're left with is a dumb guy whom you can't even feel really bad for. Needless to say, Benkei was never well received, or at least until Armageddon came and gave him some needed depth. All of this finally brings us to New Getter Robo's Benkei Musashibou. Whether it was due to time or budgetary constraints, or maybe just to find a unique way to pay tribute to Kenshikawa, Benkei Musashibou is supposed to be a mix of the two classic pilots with the original twist of being a Buddhist monk, which is actually kind of similar to Baku Yamagashi from Getter Robo arc. Honestly, besides his name, I don't think he's that similar to neither Benkei nor Musashi. His only defining trait is that he's always horny, which I understand they made it like that in order to make his animalistic side more in line with Ryoma and Hayato. But the thing is, Musashi and Benkei weren't known for being perverts, so Musashibou automatically fails at being a tribute. His introduction is supposed to be an homage to Musashi's, as they were both training in the mountains, when the Oni, or the Neanderthals created by the dinosaurs in Musashi's case, invaded. After that, Ryoma goes to investigate a strange phenomena and crashes his Getter unit in the forest. Shortly after, he gets rescued by Musashibou and Musashi respectively, and once shit hits the fan, they find themselves inside Ryoma's unit. That's all I can really compare, since from this point onward, the anime and the manga go in completely different directions. There is an attempt at adapting the Shin Getter Robo manga near the end of the series, but I'd say it's still too different to warrant its own episode. Now we can get into something which I'm sure some of you have been curious about, and that is Kyomu Senki. What is it and how does it influence New Getter Robo? Find out right now. Kyomu Senki is said by many to be Kenshikawa's magnum opus before going back to write the Getter Robo sequels. It takes place in a world where humans have advanced spiritually more than technologically and borrows many themes and ideas from Go Nagai's Black Lion. Sadly, only one of the 7 volumes has been translated, so I can't discuss it as in-depth as I would wish to. What I can say for certain is that New Getter Robo's time travel arc was indeed an homage to it, same with the 4 gods they fight at the end. One of the rather foolish mistakes I made in the first part was saying that Emperor Burai from Getter Robo G was replaced with an original character. In reality, that's actually Abe no Seimei from another one of Kenshikawa's manga titled Maku Hakeden. This only furthers the point I made in part 2 of New Getter being just a love letter to Kenshikawa and his works, rather than just Getter Robo itself. The 4 Heavenly Kings also appeared in numerous manga with Hindu and Buddhist themes, written by Kenshikawa, and they would oftentimes even act as protagonists. I think that's good to know because it brings a whole new layer of depth to their showdown with the Getter pilots at the end of the show. And that brings us to the end of this miniseries. I hope this improved your Getter watching experience, and even if it didn't, I hope you at least learned something new. The main reason which pushed me to make it in the first place was the general confusion surrounding New Getter Robo and how it relates to the overall lore. If you think there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. It was hard to find information on many of the more obscure Kenshikawa manga, so maybe a Japanese-speaking viewer could help out a little. Until next time, however, be sure not to stone your sunshine too hard. Get